guys, welcome back to the next episode of Crochet and Chaos with Coffee. Lily here, Melly on the other end, and
What's
we're at
up?
episode 6. What is up
That's,
is crazy.
that's a
Yeah,
lot of
episode
episodes.
6. I'm so
I
proud of
wonder,
us. I'm enjoying this so much.
I know, I wonder if we have more listeners than we have number of episodes.
Um, yeah, that's a given.
I
I
think so.
wonder if we have more listeners now than we did for first episode. That's a
Uh,
real wonder.
yeah, it's a given. Or were people really excited and then realized, maybe not. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe,
We're
maybe
joking.
not. Maybe after our last episode, we lost a couple. This was too long. Too
we're
much of an
being
episode.
we're being self-deprecating. We're for the sake of
Well,
silliness.
it is fun to do. Welcome to episode 6. I am drinking coffee. Melly, what are you drinking over there?
Drinking just water today. Because hydrate, yeah, it felt important. I've been very thirsty this week. I think it's the rapid, crazy weather changes we've been getting down here. It's been messing with me.
All those blizzards and things in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking of a sticker that said "Hydrate before you dihydrate," and that popped into my head as you were discussing your water.
I will be using that. I think I'll be using that from now on. Hydrate before you dihydrate. That's great. That should be a bumper sticker.
You know what we didn't do last episode, and I only realized that when I was listening back to it and figuring things out. We didn't talk about how are things really. How are you really today?
Today, or like as an overall in general? Because those could be two different questions.
You pick whichever one speaks to your heart, my dear.
I think that both answers would be the same. I think that this week specifically, I think I've been really good. I feel like I've had the normal kind of ups and downs, but I feel good. I'm, and it's not just saying that. I feel like it's almost like you don't want to say you feel good because it's like, oh, the universe can hear me.
No, you know what? The universe hears you say that too. So if you put that energy out there, then yeah,
True.
sure. But if you're just like, you know what, things are good and I'm grateful that they're good. Yeah, we find what we look for. So
True.
I believe
That's
in
true.
that. I similarly am doing pretty
yeah.
good and grateful for the weather to finally be kicking into some actual springy weather. We got through the blizzardous season up in New England, and I'm not saying that it's not possible that we get more snow. I don't want more snow, okay, but you know we've had some late season, not even season because but we've had some late year snowstorms in New England in the past. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen because the sun is out more consistently. It's not frigid walking to my car, and that always has such an impact. I am an indoor person. Sometimes I call myself an indoor cat, actually, because I have some cat-like behaviors. But I've never loved being outside. Number one, I have a phobia of bees and things that sting. Actually,
Really?
Bees aren't the problem. Like honeybees, go live your life, they leave you alone. But like wasps and hornets and those animals, excuse me, those jerks.
Oh. You're gonna have to beep the episode.
I'm gonna have to beep the episode. It's fine. It's wasps and hornets and those things that they freak me out, and I've always been so scared of them. So I don't love being outside, especially in areas where those are flying free. And in general, I burn very easily. I have very fair skin, so the sun and I don't get along. I don't like being too hot in the summer. I've never been a sports person, so I don't like to spectate or play in sports. Hence the crochet. And I like to be inside. But I do like it when I'm inside and it's sunny outside. My house is bright and the sun's coming through the windows, and versus like a dreary or a rainy day, and I'm just like, ugh. So I am also feeling good. There's a very long way to say I am also doing well, and that is an actual yes, I'm doing well. So.
We like to take the long way round sometimes.
We do. We do.
Sounds like you're a crafty vampire.
New sticker. Oh,
yep,
goodness.
You're a crafty vampire.
Yeah,
you don't want to go outside. You just want to be inside, but you like a little bit of sun. Just don't
do. I like the sun, a lot of sun, but like from outside in. I do open the windows as long as there's functioning screens without holes in them. I like to have the fresh air.
I agree.
In.
I
Yeah.
agree. No, I'm honestly though, I'm the same way. I don't mind sports, but I'm probably not going to go actively do them unless it's lifting really heavy weights. That's the only thing that I will actively do as an athlete.
Yeah.
And I like sitting in my sunroom and have the beautiful vitamin D streaming in, giving me life and taking away depression. And because, gloominess, too much gloominess can really affect the old mentality.
Sure.
But on the flip side, I like a stormy day in my sunroom as well, ironically, and where I can hear the rain on the windows and all that good stuff. But
just a rainy day or a stormy day with like thunder and lightning and shit?
I like a little bit of thunder, not the deep. If I can be specific, not the deep, heavy, scary, out of the blue, boomy, crackly, but mainly just like that. That the kind that
Rumble
you get
in the
on your
distance.
app. Yeah, like the kind you get on your app where you have thunderstorm and it's like your meditation app or whatever. And I don't know what that. I don't have one of those, but because I have Florida. But
you know what you get on the app that I don't use, that you use, that
well, Florida is an app all on its own, so
I see.
it provides. I can go to the beach and I can listen to the meditation of the waves, or I can just stay at my house and wait for the summer thunderstorm, a thunderstorm.
Is this episode sponsored by Florida?
I'll give them a ring and see if they're okay with it. See if we can bring some cash flow in. I was funny.
The unnamed app, maybe they're sponsoring it as well.
Yeah, I don't know, white noises, is that like one of the random ones? So something that came to mind though when you said honeybees, like they can go live their life. I was very thankful you said that because my name in the Greek means honeybee. So thank God you don't have a problem with those. Random fun fact of the day.
Well, so honeybees, they don't bother you unless you get too close to their hive and bother them. But
exactly, doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some conclusions we're drawing here.
Honeybees are basically like Sour Patch Kids, okay? First they're a little sour and then they're sweet, or vice versa.
I wouldn't know. I've never tried one, but all right.
Yep.
Honeybees, not Sour Patch Kids. But anyways, so I was asking your preference about weather because I as a kid, I hated thunderstorms. They scared the bejesus out of me. Oh. And as an adult, I really started to enjoy them and I would track them on the radar, see, and I would get so annoyed because they would always go around me and whatever. But then lately we've been getting more tornado warnings with our severe thunderstorms in the summer. So now I'm back to hating them because they don't just stay a thunderstorm anymore. There's always something else, looming around the corner in that regard. So, but I do also enjoy, if I'm in the right mood, I enjoy a rainy day. There was one June though, that it was the summer of 2009, and I will remember it because it was the year that I got my pup who passed away. And that's the third episode I've talked about that in, but anyways.
And you will do it again, and it's okay.
Probably. But I had just brought him home and at the end of May, and that June was the rainiest June we had in a long time, and I think we had maybe like a total of 4 or 5 days without rain the entire month. So imagine potty training a little puppy in the rain all June long. So that kind of rain, not a fan, but intermittent, between sunny days and then just having a nice rainy day with some rumbles in the distance. I also enjoy that. Sounds like it would be a great time in your sunroom, which maybe one day I'll join you, but who knows?
It's a pretty great room. It is.
Yeah. Well, the pictures do make me think that as well. So
yes, it was the reason it was built.
What whips do you have? What are you working on?
As usual, I've probably got too many, but I've got my Cozy Joy yarn collection that I'm working on. The squares for that, and it will be a squares blanket, of course, because there's quite a few colors. And I'm working on finishing up a couple of samples for the Chloe Cardi mini mod that I'm trying to get different sizes worked up and see what kind of modifications need to be made. So let's go with those are my primary ones right now.
Excellent.
What about you?
Surprise, surprise, I've not finished Kaylee's blanket.
God, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, no, I don't know that I've I don't know the last time I worked on it. Love you, Kaylee. But I've been distracted by some shiny things and haven't gotten around to it in a little while.
I think you were distracted by sticky things, and you can
Sticky
elaborate
things.
on that if you want to. But
Oh, cause well, I am a fan of many mediums, and so I've been making more stickers lately. I finally, about a year later, got around to making the Make-a-thon themed stickers, so that was
yeah,
a win for me. I was excited about that. Those are up on Etsy.
they're so fun.
I love them, and after that, I had this epiphany. I feel kind of dumb for it, but I'm going to try not to judge myself because when I started doing markets, I was doing greeting cards and stickers and paper crafts. I love paper.
Yeah.
I used to do paper pieced greeting cards, like like you go to the Michaels and get a, scrap of paper and
Oh yeah,
make
yeah,
pretty card.
yeah.
Oh gosh, so much fun. I actually stopped doing that when I had kids because it was uh, there were so many supplies and I just didn't have the space to have the supplies out where we
Right.
were living at the time, and I didn't have the time to make them right. And then I got my iPad when my son was born in 2020, and that helped kind of satisfy that need. And so like iPad is very contained, right? And I can recreate, like I
Yeah.
can create watercolor like illustrations digitally, so it's easier, less physically messy. And so I uh, got into making printed stickers and those kinds of things. And then eventually started selling more crochet stuff at markets. And then I was like, gosh, I've got so many different things. And suddenly, I want to say it was like maybe a couple of weeks ago, max a month ago, I was like, God, with all the crochet stuff that I'm selling at markets, why don't I have more yarn themed stickers?
Oh my
So,
gosh.
so the apple fell on my head, and I started making more of those. Because what happens sometimes at markets is people will come by and they'll say, "Oh, these are so pretty," or "Oh, my daughter does this stuff," or "Gosh, you're so talented," or "I wish I had any kids that I needed to buy something for," and then they walk away. And so especially for the ones that come in, they're like, "Oh, I also do this." Like now, maybe they'll be like, "I'll buy this fun yarn themed sticker for
Can I just
for
say
less
that
than."
I am a whore for stickers. Okay, like I have so many stickers that haven't even found a home
They
yet
don't have a home.
somewhere in my home. Like
Yeah.
I have literally, I'm looking at stickers. I don't have to look that far. I'm looking at some right now. I'm like, I should put you somewhere, stick you on something, give you the divine purpose that you were ordained when you were given life. I should fulfill that purpose.
That's
Okay.
intense.
And I know, they're just sitting there staring at me going, yep, still unstuck. Thanks, Melly, for purchasing me and taking away my life's joy. I just want to be stuck to something. And I just feel,
All right.
I feel sad about that for them.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it. I have quite a few Lily stickers. I have lots on my table waiting to be stuck. I have some on
Some
mugs.
she didn't even ask for. I just decided she had to have them.
I'm pretty sure there's at least 43% of the stickers I have from you I did not ask for, and they just kind of show up in a happy package. And I'm like, oh.
You're welcome.
And I send her little like pictures of myself with my lip sticking out, going, "Oh, I love you so much. Why do you love me?" And it's overflow. But I love them, and I'm very weird about like. I feel like stickers can't just be stuck anywhere. I know there's people who are like, I'm just gonna like put all these on the back of my laptop.
I don't want to waste the sticker.
You know where I put my dumpster fire one, which I have to say, I have to be partial, but that is my favorite sticker that you've ever made because I feel very connected. If you don't have the dumpster fire sticker, you guys, please run to Lily's. I mean, I'm going to demand that she puts her Etsy account like linked in this particular thing because that dumpster fire is on the back. I am one not to put stickers on the back of my laptop. I think it's like, don't touch no, it's too much. It's too far. You've gone too far. No, this sticker is adhered to the back of my laptop because this is where the chaos happens. And I'm like, there's no more perfect sticker that can go there. And my husband goes, that's really perfect for you. I said, that way when people walk up and they see me on this laptop, they can just know a dumpster fire is happening and everything's fine. Everything's fine. And they should just go with it or walk away. You've been warned.
I love it. Well, it is named the prettiest little dumpster fire because she's very pretty. I'll do you one better though. Mine is also on my laptop, but she's not on the back. She's on the front, so I can see her. While
I get distracted.
Yeah,
I would get distracted by her beauty if I had her there. So I have
that's
to have
fair.
It's too much. And then I would want to start designing something like else because she's inspiring. So if anything, I'm doing you a favor by not putting
I see. Yeah. Then I have less documents to make for you.
Absolutely. Let's talk about, we're talking about documents. We're talking about patterns.
Yeah.
Do we dive into our topic for the day?
Yes. Let's talk about tester calls.
Ta-da!
Yeah, tester calls. You've hosted tester calls. I've hosted tester calls. You've tested everybody else's pattern ever, so you've been in tester groups. You've been selected for whatever. So, what kinds of things when you're hosting a tester call for your 7,000 patterns you were never going to make? What do you look for in a tester?
For myself personally, I will try to be concise. It's very hard for me, but I will try. For me, I like people to obviously be genuinely excited. I'm not really here for just I just want to test for the sake of testing people. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if I get applying for everything. I did it as well, but I think there's also a way to do it. Like if I go to your stories and all I see in your stories is like tester call, mm-hmm. giveaway. It's like, okay,
you want a high investment tester, is what I'm getting. You want somebody who's going to show up and be there for more than just the pattern.
And I'm going to say where this comes from here. I, as a tester, like to hopefully hope. My hope is that when I test, I am hyping your pattern. I am hyping your brand. I'm hyping you as a maker as much as I can. Sometimes I have to give myself those reminders, but that's my hope. I'm here for more.
Sometimes you don't get to the test until like the last 2 days of the test.
Right.
I feel like that's happened once or twice.
It has. Okay. And that's been when I applied for everything and I shouldn't have been doing 7 testers at one time. Right. But that's true. I do feel like if you're just there to put a tester on your belt, I'm not really here for that. If you're there because you truly believe in the make and the designer, and I think that hype is a very important quality. And I notice the people who, before I even come out with a tester call, have been sharing and messaging. Don't think I don't see you, because I see you, and I have a spreadsheet and I make notes, and I look for the enthusiasm. I think that I want people to match my enthusiasm and have a blast and enjoy. And I've been very blessed in having that. Sometimes I ask for color palettes, like, hey,
you do that a lot. Yeah.
I sometimes it feels like it's a thing that needs to be, done. And
but your patterns, because we're not doing amigurumi, right? Your pattern, like, if you had everybody doing the same, we talked about this in the color palette episode, but if you had everybody doing the same colors, then the hype would be boring. It'd be like, everybody's doing all the same thing. Yeah, so I think that
everybody did neutrals. We can't see the difference in how this blanket can be made or whatever.
Right.
I will say for the cardigan that, the Chloe cardigan, I didn't think that was as important. For one thing, I had a lot of pre-testers, and another thing, I wanted that to be a very individual choice, because what you wear is not, I have found what I wear is not always going to match what I would do in a blanket. What I put on my body will not be the same thing as what I put over my body. So it's different. So I think it comes down to just enthusiasm and joy, not just, I just want to test things for the sake of testing. Hopefully that kind of makes sense.
Now, when I've done tester calls, I've done a few different types, like in kind of what the requirements are for the, like, how to apply, right? And this is kind of a nitty gritty question, but I noticed that, like, I'm sure I overthink it, because I overthink everything. But I was like, okay, then I was tracking. I was like, who commented? And did they comment correctly? And did they share and tag me? And did they what? So I actually stopped, in my tester calls, I stopped asking people to share to their stories and tag me as part of the application. The application was just, please comment and either answer this question, or, you know, like, and even tagging people too, like, because it was too much for me to track. And I didn't want to have to go, and gosh, if I didn't have time that day to check everybody's stories and then their story disappeared, and I'm like, and then I was like, well, but did they really apply or did they not really? So I kind of eliminated the different elements to make my life easier for my brain.
Yeah,
what
agreed.
kinds of things, how do you do that in your tester calls? Do you have
You know,
lots of elements, or, you know,
I don't
steps, or...
think, I think that I'm like, you must be a crochet account, an active crochet account.
Mm-hmm.
So like private, you know, crocheters with just like their name or whatever, that's not really, you need to be a crochet account, because otherwise the promotion of the pattern isn't going to really work.
Like a public account.
Yeah, you need to have a public crochet account. I don't know that I have the must tag me in order. I feel like I don't have that on my pattern tester calls.
Yeah.
I think I do it for giveaways, like just tag me. But for tester calls, I don't think so. And I think I suggest tagging others is helpful.
Optional, yeah.
But
yeah.
I
I'll usually
like,
say that. Like, if you want to share to your stories, that's, you know, go right ahead. If you want to tag somebody, that's great. But, you know.
I think mine mainly comes down to, sometimes the only work I really make people do is like, hey, give me a color palette. And that's, you know why I do that is only really because I want to know that you've actually given it some thought. You don't have to know everything, but if you just know, I want to do brights, I want to do neutral. Some people have really gotten picked based on their in-depth description of like, I want to do this, I've been dreaming of this, I want to do da, and I'm like, okay, solid, you're in. And can we also, I don't know, do you have a follow-up question to that? Because I just thought of something that I feel like might be in people's heads.
Yeah, I think
if you're paying attention to like who designers pick as their testers, and you see, oh, they pick the same person all the time. Okay. I think we've talked about this before, but there are always going to be people who test for me who have tested every single thing that I have designed. And there's a reason for that. It should be a pretty obvious one. They know how to read my patterns. They know if something is off or feels off. They know the flow. And they also, I trust them to give me very explicit opinions.
A certain type of feedback. Yeah.
I know
there's a consistency there that you need as the designer. Yeah.
Yes. And I will also say, I like to put it out there, I always pick people who have never tested for me before, or I do not pick people based on their follow count. I don't, I really don't. That is not a top criteria. I will look and make sure you can take pictures. I'll make sure that you actually are proficient in the type of tester that you're going for, and that you maybe have promoted people really well in the past. I think that those are, you know, high quality things to look for. But other than that, I mean, I'm not picking, I don't want people to ever think, oh, people are picking based on because somebody only has 5,000 followers and up. It's like, that's dumb. I was picked to do tester calls when I had 100 followers by really big name designers, thankfully. And I'm grateful that people don't do that, you know?
Yeah, but I haven't done a test in a while, but I do something similar. Like, there's certain people that I just want to have test for me. Sometimes they're unavailable because they're doing other things, but that's fine. And
you're throwing a lot of shade at me today. It's very shady over here in Florida for some reason, and the sun is shining.
It's because all of the sun is over here on my neck of the woods. Sorry, sometimes I can't help it. It's just exciting. It just
such a brat.
Makes me smile.
Such a brat.
Yes, it is true, and my brother would also agree.
Your brother's smart. We like Drew.
Now I forget what I was gonna say.
See, that's what you get for being bratty.
No, that's what you get for distracting me because I was being bratty.
Sometimes people are unavailable.
Have a variety. Sometimes people are unavailable. I like to have a variety though. Like, I want to know that certain people can give me the feedback that I'm looking for, but then I also want to make sure that my pattern is accessible by people that, you know, haven't tested for me before and maybe haven't done a lot of things. And I mean, it depends on the pattern. Your Cardi pattern, you know, they need to be an advanced, skilled in advanced crochet, but you know, for things that are more beginner based, you know, I want variety in the end result. Like, I don't want the most tests, the designer will collect the pictures, right, and then
Right.
do a tester appreciation, and it's some marketing and pattern hype, but like I want there to be variety. I want people to see like, oh, it comes out slightly different if you do it this way. And
Exactly.
I remember it was when I was testing Haven the Hug Bug. I can't remember who it was, so if I'm talking about you and you're listening, please comment. But I just remember somebody was forming their stitches using yarn over, and I had designed the pattern to be yarn under, yarn over, and so the head for their Haven was really a long, kind of looked like a balloon. So I think at that point, I had suggested, because they were like, how do I make it look, different, or it doesn't look quite like the pattern. I was like, oh, try it this way. And so, not only was it a sharing of techniques and strategies, but also just like there's a variation in what the end result looks like. I want it to be approachable.
True.
I tend to be very intentional with that, and the crochet space, but also just in my regular job as a occupational therapist. I run groups, and I'm often bringing in projects. I work at a psychiatric hospital, and we're working on activities in a group space, and as somebody who is very crafty and has high expectations for the end result of my projects, I know that if I walk into the group room with a perfect looking project, I'm going to turn some people off to the group. And they're going to be like, you know what, I can't do this. So I'm going to go. And I don't want that, right? So I will very intentionally create my sample, to look approachable, right? Maybe it's not something I would hang up in my house, but it's something that is approachable for the people that are going to be coming to group. And I want the same thing for tests and whatnot. I want people to be interested in doing it and trying it, and not feel like, oh gosh, well, everything from that test was so perfect, I don't have the skill yet. Like, okay, well, just start somewhere. Every time you do it, you're practicing, you're getting better at it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good approach. And I think I also look to pick people who have very different styles, may not be the right word, but like I can tell from their page and things that they've worked on that they have a different approach to how they pick color palettes or how they style something in the end, and doing the Chloe cardigan really showed me how personalities can come out, especially in doing wearables. And I feel like it had been really fun seeing how some people liked an all over solid and some people liked a neutral and other people went with this, one of my testers went with almost like a paint splatter 90s thing, cool. And it was very cool. And just seeing that one, it was very neat. And she even made it in a way where she kind of modified with her hook a little bit to make it a little smaller, and it ended up fitting her older daughter. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I could tell right away. I was like, did you modify it like this? Not the stitches, but did you make and she goes, oh yeah, I actually made the square smaller. I said, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about. You went in a direction you knew in this advanced pattern that you could say, I'm going to use a smaller hook and I'm going to make it 5-inch square instead of 5 1/4 inch and see if it'll fit my daughter. And it's like, look at that. You did it. Hallelujah. Because she's like an extra, extra small. And that's what she did. She made a size that wasn't in the pattern. It was pretty cool.
I have a question for you.
Oh God.
She went rogue and you didn't yell at her?
But she didn't go completely rogue. She still made the pattern as it was written. She just used a different gauge, which I'd already encouraged them to do.
So she's better than me. Okay, fine.
She was already in a tester group. I hadn't even done the thing yet, and you did the scarf.
Wasn't there something else that I was like, I want to do this, and you were like, Lily, don't. There was something. I don't remember what it was. There was something though.
Like, stop getting ahead of me and let me have the idea. Before you execute it.
I can't. I told you. I do not control my brain. I am at the whim of wherever it goes.
This is the curse of the ADHD brain, I swear.
Yes,
it's literally like, oh, I'm going to design a sweater, and all of a sudden you're designing a purse.
It's like I'll be halfway through a test for you, and it's like, oh, you know what? And drop whatever I'm working on, and like, hey, look what else I made. And you're like, can you finish the original thing? I'm bored with that now.
Yeah,
I had a different idea.
it's exactly why I think creative people all have a touch of ADHD in that way, because if you notice, Whipathon is always is the mat that we've done twice. Okay,
Yeah,
like every year, it's now it is an annual thing because we've done
Yay.
two. So
I love it.
It is definitely one that people are like, oh yeah, I probably need that. I actually have a challenge I'm trying to work up.
Yep.
While I'm not doing mats, I'm trying to work up a challenge because obviously I can't be stopped because I have no chill. Those pills don't exist in my house. No, those chill pills. So I've got a little challenge that won't involve a group, but I'm gonna announce it this weekend and have some fun with it and see if people wanna join, and we'll see.
Cool. She says she's not going to do mats, but she can't stop.
It's like a story mat. It's not the same thing. There's no
No,
wheel.
it isn't. It is.
I don't have to create a lot of things from it. I can just tell people, hey, here's your assignment. Go forth and prosper, and people have fun with it, I hope.
I love it. It's still community based too. That's
yes,
cool.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, we're at half an hour, so let's do our can't I say it? Unpopular fiber opinion.
Because you're supposed to just call it a UFO, and people have to figure it out and be intrigued by what the
let's do our UFO. Yeah, I'm not going to say it from now on. It's a UFO. If you don't know
what's
what
our
is,
UFO?
look it up.
What's our UFO today?
Our UFO is about crochet hooks. You have a very strong opinion about crochet hook size, and I have a very strong opinion about crochet hook type and material. What's your strong opinion?
Listen, I've said it before, and I will constantly say it, and my patterns have even said it. Size matters, okay? And this is a thing that a girl starts to feel very strongly about in her hooking era, and I don't like really using a hook any smaller than a 4.5, and 4.5 is pushing my limits of irrational anger approaching.
Okay.
I can do it though. I've been working with 4.5 for the mini mod for the Chloe cardigan.
You don't like a tiny hook.
I don't like it tiny.
Why? What's wrong with them?
Because they make my hand hurt. It's like it's like my tension gets a lot tighter, and I can't see things because I'm old. And it's like that means whatever I'm working with is probably not even DK weight. It's probably sport weight or something. And I'm like looking at it like, I don't understand what you want from me, and I get
Does it not work up fast enough for you either, or that not a thing?
That's probably partially a thing. Like if I were trying to make a blanket with just sport weight, it's hard enough. Whatever. DK is my limit. DK is my limit. I can only go weight 3, and beyond that, I'm like, sorry, you've not captured my attention. I can't.
Yeah,
we can't continue.
I don't have an issue with tiny hooks. I like tiny hooks.
Why
it depends on what I'm making.
What are you making? With a tiny hook?
Because things are cute, I guess.
Are you making doilies? What is happening?
Doilies.
I'm not doily shaming, by the way. I'm intrigued by the people who work with lace.
I liked the way it sounded. I don't know. There was a period of time where I thought like a size 6 crochet hook was too big. It was huge. I wanted to use something smaller. I'm not sure. Because I like knitting socks, and I like that it uses tiny needles, and I like that the movements, like the motions, are really small. Although I will say, I recently knit a hat for my husband, and I don't know what it was about the yarn and the needles I was using. I was so glad to be done with it because my hands hurt. My hands hurt. And I think it was because I was using a weight 4 yarn, but I used smaller needles because he wanted the hat to be tight around his head, and so it was a knit 2 purl 2, and that gives a nice elasticity to the hat. But I had started making one, and I got about halfway through it, and we tried it on. I was like, "Is that going to be too loose for like how you want it to feel when you're wearing it?" And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Damn it!" So then I took it out and I started over, and I used smaller needles. And I think there was something about that. So like physically, like the back of my hand behind my middle finger and my ring finger was aching. Ooh. But so I haven't knit socks in a while either. Hopefully that's not a thing because I really enjoy it. But I don't know. There's something about like a tiny little hook and like working with. I will work with smaller yarns too. I've just made small projects like a headphone, like AirPod pouch, or
that's
just
cute.
Like little things. And then
maybe if it was a small project,
somebody that was doing. Yeah, there was somebody that was doing like projects with beads on them too, like the pony beads on them, and
Oh.
I'm the worst person for remembering anybody's Instagram handle, and since we don't do any research before our podcast episodes, I don't prepare for it. I'm like, I'm going to talk about this person, so let me look up what their handle is. So anyway,
that's because we don't know what we're going to talk about.
No, well, we do. We know our themes,
but we don't know who we're going to talk about.
Right? Yes, we don't
plan that.
No, we don't prep that. But I tested for a beaded fidget, and so then I had to use a small enough hook to go through the pony bead. And
was it Willow?
Maybe
Willow something.
Sure.
I feel really stupid. I know it's Willow though. I know that's in her name.
Okay.
Yep. So, she does all the beaded fidget stuff.
But it was so cool and it was so fun. But then you have to use a smaller hook for that, and I don't know. I also like working with thin yarn. So I think we're just the opposite. I remember. I think we talked about it in an episode, one of our first couple episodes, of like how I was really judgy against blanket yarn, and I am no longer. But I don't know. I like tiny hooks. I don't like plastic hooks though. That's
like tiny hooks, and I cannot lie.
Yeah.
I wonder if I would be, because I'm going to learn to knit at some point. I have the needles and everything. I don't have tiny needles, but I do wonder if when I knit, because I do want to make socks, and you can't make really, I mean, you probably can make bulky socks with the larger needles.
You can, they just won't be very comfortable.
Right, exactly. I want to make, my goal is to make like a cute little pair of socks that I can wear around the house. And I know that that's usually done. Is it done with fingering weight yarn or more like a sport weight?
Fingering.
Yeah.
Usually fingering. There are sport weight. I wouldn't do socks in anything above sport weight though.
I feel like I could be happier using the 2 needles though with smaller yarn with the way it's done over holding and hooking with like doing the turn, because with knitting you're kind of going over the hook. You're doing it in a different hand motion a little bit. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different. But I'm wondering, I'm interested. When I start knitting, we'll circle back to this, and I will tell you if I still hate small hooks, but these aren't multi-hooks. These will be needles,
if you're going to be knitting socks, you're either going to need to knit them with a really tiny pair of circular needles, or you're going to use some DPNs. Those are double pointed needles, and usually it's like at least 4 or 5 of those. So so it's not 2. But I also really like working with DPNs because I was like, you finish. I commented on one of Teeny's posts recently. I was like, she's like, I don't like DPNs. I was like, I do, and I like that you get to finish half of the, like a quarter of the row, and you're like, look, I did something. Like next needle, I don't know. There's something very like nerdy I like about the movement for that.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Do you have opinions about your types of like crochet hooks? Do you have a favorite? Because I do.
I do. I'll sell you. I usually, all of my hooks are usually clover. Even the smallest to the biggest. But I mean, the ones that don't have ergonomic handles, I can't use them anymore. I used them when I learned, and then I discovered clover, and I was like, I can't look back. These are great. And they're cheap. So if they break, it's like $10, and I've never had one break. Knock on whatever wood we can find here. I've never had one break, but I know
you
that
say they're cheap because if it breaks, they're $10. But you know that like the set for like the regular set is like $40. Like I wouldn't call them cheap. They're not cheap. Like if you go to like the craft store and you get a cheap crochet hook, it's a cheap crochet hook. They're not terrible. True. There are more expensive ones. Like it's not a Furls crochet hook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like God bless Furls. I know people love them. I have yet to try them.
I can't use them. They're too big for my hands. I have baby hands.
Yeah.
They're very large, and they're too long, so I have to grip them too close to the hook, which is not where the larger part is, the ergonomic part. My coworker loves them. I had bought one a while ago because, so my UFO is I hate plastic hooks, and I was doing so much amigurumi that I was using the size 7 hook, and I was like, I don't want to do, and then and I think it was when I was doing the Scrappy make-a-thon, I was like, I don't want to use a plastic hook anymore, and so I bought a Furls because you could get a size 7 in a metal hook, and that's when I realized the hook itself is too long, and Clover is not. So Clover is my favorite brand. for hooks. I will never not love them. All the way from the ergonomic handle to the feel of the whatever the silicone is, to the brushed aluminum hook, to the shape of the hook and the way it glides through the.
We're literally holding the same hook.
Having a moment. Yes,
we're literally holding the same hook.
Yeah, we are. It's true. So obsessed, but I hate how their hooks are plastic. From 6.5 up.
6.5 up.
Metal. But yeah, they're the perfect size. They're not too long. I don't know. I have small hands compared to most people. And then the only exception is, I found that Tulip makes a metal hook for a 6.5. So the Tulip, Atimo, I think it is, they have a 6.5 metal hook. So I will use that when I need a 6.5. But I'm using plastic when it's a 7mm. But whatever. But it's probably just a me thing. But yeah, no, I don't want plastic hooks. I want metal hooks.
I don't think it's a you thing. I think it's a pretty heated topic that we've had in several mats about hooks, and it's like, oh, no, and people will get very die on that hill about what hooks they like. Yes. And I get it. They're very personal experiy the size hook you put in your hand. That's or true. Other places.
Once again, guys, I am
sorry, that was a weird reference.
You heard it from Melly first that everybody, I'm not unique anymore.
You're not what?
I don't know. I'm just being silly.
That went off the rails.
You know what? I tried for a thing and I don't think it landed. But it's okay because
it's fine.
Whatever. So let us know what you think about hooks and sizes and textures and whatever in our comments.
Weird again. You're getting weird again. You need another cup of coffee and you need to stop. She gets on to me because there she goes. You hear her slurping. She gets on to me because I get weird and I go and she's like, you have to let me talk. And it's like, okay, sure, I'll let you talk. And then I let you talk and look what happens. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Not all the time.
You make it weirder than it already is,
I do. Well, because I number one, I think I'm funny. Number two, I really like making people laugh. Yes. Number three, I don't always land it. So sometimes it's funny in my head, but it's not actually funny. Or like I don't execute it very well. So
I usually
but you know what? Again, it's fine. It's totally fine. I was just at work the other day. I was talking to my coworker. We were running a meeting together with our interns, and the entire meeting I was like, I don't feel like this went well. She was like, it wasn't one of your best, but it went better than you thought it was in your head. And I was like, yeah, that's good. So whatever. Can't be on all the time.
They're not always on all the time, and that's okay. Yeah. We absorb it and we learn from it, or we just don't care and we just do the same thing all over again, which is usually what I do. True. I'm the latter.
That's true. All right, I think we should wrap it up. We're only at 42 minutes for this one.
Actually, very impressed. You're welcome, everyone. We cut it down by 4 to 7 wild tangents, and I think that helped. I think we found what does it.
I agree. I think we learned that we can't we can't go without an outline. We can't wing it. We have to
winging it's not really. I mean, winging it's not really my thing. So
yeah. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you guys next time. We won't see you, but we won't even hear you either. We don't join us next time.
But join us. Yeah. Adios, everyone.
Bye.